Two entities reside within the unknown, discussing a plan too unfathomable to be described. Which is why I based their design on the ultimatums. Although the most fascinating part about them, the brain, I have designed it to make them ruthless, with an ever-growing desire for wealth, power, and pleasure. Even I can't fully grasp it. They are different from any life form I've engineered up until now. They are prone to hurt their own kind for their benefit, thanks to your influence. Are you pleased, my lord? Yes. What do you wish to call them? Anything that does not evoke their imagery in my mind. Humans shall do, he murmured, a sense of disgust in his guttural voice. Very well then. Let us begin the history of this apex species. It won't take long until they begin to seek guidance from a higher being. That is when you will come in. Belief and faith are the best sources of power. All you need. Now, when the time comes, what do you wish to be referred to by them? You mentioned previously of a creative power that they hold. What is that? They shall succeed where their ancestors failed. They are made not only to be ambitious, but also prone to complex evolution. With an advanced language system, they are able to think of creative solutions for every problem presented to them. But what about phenomena out of their current understanding, you ask? Well, their imagination shall fill the gaps, until a realistic explanation is conceived, that is. The higher being would be nothing more than a melting pot of hopes, dreams, and aspirations their brains will come up with, something to mindlessly follow, to devote their entire lives to. Intriguing. Then, I look forward to seeing what their little minds come up with. Allow them to envision me. Understood. The key to consciousness for the first two humans lies in my hands. Here goes nothing. A man wakes up in the middle of the woods at night, dressed in a black frock coat and trousers that seem to be from a distant past, worn out and dirty. His eyes wander around, taking in the scenery of the pitch-black forest, or a lack thereof. The place is unnervingly quiet, aside from the chirping of crickets and the occasional rustling of leaves and bushes by the cold wind. Very slowly he stands up, his body twitching ever so slightly. He's feeling an intense headache, to the point where thinking itself seems to be a Herculean task. He almost feels reduced to an ant or a mere fly, a being so simple and predictable. Is he human? What even is the meaning of that word? The line between life and death has never been so thin and fragile. Everything feels so blank, so meaningless. With no reasonable explanation at hand, he is quick to dismiss it, at least for as long as he can afford to. Something then catches his eye, a puddle of water on the ground. Upon making his way to it, he kneels, gazing into his dark and murky reflection. His eyes appear to be emanating pure whiteness. No iris is to be seen, just a soft, white glow, a nice contrast to his visible skin, which is unnaturally dark, worsened by the equally dark clothes. A cloth mask covers his mouth up to his nose, and a strange, white fedora-like hat sits atop his head, both black too, of course. He tries to remove them, but he can't? His hands merely shake at the thought, refusing to move. It is as if there were two brains in his head, fighting each other to see whose actions the body will take. Then, it finally hit him. Why is he here? What happened? Thinking has become nearly impossible, even more so remembering previous events. And if things weren't bad enough already, he only now realized that his own identity escapes him. Is he supposed to feel something about that? Because he isn't. Everything feels so strange, so wrong. Against what he believes to be his own free will, he stands up again, turns right, and starts walking. He has no idea where he's heading, but his body just keeps moving, as if it were on autopilot. This isn't a puppet being moved by strings. No, the movement is too natural, too fluid. Is fighting back even the correct course of action to take? Perhaps it is best not to mess with something you cannot understand, at least for as long as it doesn't endanger you. After a short and eerily calming stroll through the forest in the dead of night, he hears movement in nearby bushes. Startled, he braces himself for any incoming danger, ready to flee if needed. But his body is still not listening to him. Instead, it just stands there. Slowly, a bear creeps up from said bushes. Despite being terrified, he cannot move or scream. The bear makes its way closer to him, although surprisingly, it seems passive. It begins sniffing him, which after doing so, senses something unfamiliar and threatening, followed by immediately running away, frightened, wasting no time to make as much distance as possible from the perceived threat. He's left baffled, with no body language to back it up. If it wasn't clear enough already, there's obviously something wrong with him. At the very least, he remembers which planet he's from. All that can be done now is allow the tide to take him, see where it goes. After walking for about 20 minutes, he arrives in a small town, still in the dead of night. It would appear as if he's going somewhere specific. The path he's tracing with his steps is anything but random. The streets are dormant, no one in sight, no one to witness this anomaly. After turning the corner in the dark alley, he sees a man violently pinning a woman against the wall, pressing a knife to her neck. Is this his destination? Because he does feel the need to go help her. Luckily, this mysterious and unseen force makes him approach them slowly from behind, his boots not making a sound. Is he even conscious? Is this truly happening? Doesn't matter. The man speaks in a cold, ego-fueled manner, almost glued to her frightened face, his voice becoming louder and louder the closer he gets. So why? Why did you do it? I swear to God, whores like you are a fucking waste of space. I shouldn't even bother. Speech is beyond her at this point as he continues to ramble, only loud pants and cries leaving her mouth, the cold surface of the blade against her neck sending shivers throughout her body. The tears across her face scream for someone, clinging on to hope, and as if by divine intervention, her pleas would be answered. She notices a strange man coming up behind her aggressor. Naturally, she doesn't say anything, praying that perhaps there might indeed still be hope left for her. Unexpectedly, a light post that was off due to malfunction turns on, casting his menacing shadow on the wall, which the aggressor instantly notices, gasping. He wastes no time releasing the woman and quickly turns around for a fatal stab to the neck, with no regard for the person's intentions, no hesitation behind any of his actions. In retaliation, he prepares to block his attack and disarm him, but what happens instead is something he would never imagine. Ignored by his body, he grabs him by the neck and lifts him up with one hand, the sensation causing him to drop his knife as it falls down to the ground with a short sequence of clanks. His fingers press in on it with a level of grip strength not even he knew he possessed. It choked him so hard to the point he heard a pop sound coming from within his body. His trachea has just been broken, his panicked hands around his own gently lowering as life fades away, after then dropping him to the ground with a soft thud. The scene had been so brutal it triggered the woman's fight or flight response, sprinting out of the scene with fear for her life, still crying. She might have been thankful nonetheless, yet she felt that whatever she just witnessed might have been a threat to her as well. He freezes, his arm still held up, staring at the corpse of the aggressor. He wasn't by any means planning on taking his life, only to disarm him and perhaps knock him out. How in the world did he do such a horror? An inevitable sense of guilt washes over him. He can only cling on to the theory that it wasn't truly him who did this. Something within him demanded it, and therefore acted upon it, his body nothing more than a means to an end. a tragic end. He might have a somewhat twisted sense of morality. That one trait hasn't escaped him. But he has no idea if this man even fitted his criteria to be deserving of death. Moreover, acting upon these beliefs is completely different from expressing them. Words can be pretty, courageous, righteous, but are they truly real if they can't be backed up by actions? He leans weakly against the wall, one hand covering half of his face. A few moments of reflection and coping go by, when suddenly a red, smoke-like vapor starts leaving the man's deceased body. His head snapped in its direction, slowly backing up in fear. Is he dreaming? No, this is very real. And for some reason, it calls to him. He doesn't know why, but he's craving it, similar to the need to satiate hunger or thirst. Whether by morbid curiosity or unwanted control, he gathers up courage and closes the gap, extending his hand. The smoke reacts, flowing into it like a gas being sucked in. As it does, a weird feeling soon follows, dizziness combined with empowerment, a freezing sensation in his blood. He's feeling strong and capable of doing more now, yet unsure of what more means. Although one thing is for certain, he's strong, unnaturally so. He should put it to good use. While trying to exercise his mind, he finds the heaviness in his body to be gone, free movement returning. It feels luxurious. He looks at his hands and waves them around, relieved. There is one thing he does remember about himself, his beliefs. Given the situation he's in and whatever bestowed this power upon him, there's only one thing he wishes to do with it: rid the world of all evil. What a delusional goal, almost equivalent to a child saying they don't want anyone to do anything bad. He enjoys it though. He enjoys chasing the impossible. But he knows that. He knows there's no such thing as ultimate safety that can be achieved in the world. However, he still wants to give it a shot, because the lingering question to these unrealistic goals always stands. What if it's possible? Unbeknownst to him, what it would truly mean to try and attempt to rid the world of all evil. Speaking of the world, he doesn't remember the one he lives in, something that also unbeknownst to him is sure to get him killed if his memory isn't to be refreshed.